What's up, everybody? It's Evo on Trouts Fly Fishing, back with the forecast. This time for December 1st, a little bit earlier than normal, but I hope that makes up for all those times I've been a little bit late. Don't want to brag. I might have my ish together. Right, Katrina?
Right.
Yeah, I do. Definitely. All right, so we're talking bugs, flow, and weather. We're talking winter fishing. Also, another reason that this is coming out a little earlier. So tomorrow, which is the 2nd, Scott Dickson, head guide here at Trouts Denver, is going to be giving a presentation on winter fly fishing tailwaters. So make sure to tune into that, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time tomorrow, December 2nd. We'll see you there. Come with questions, come ready to learn. Scott obviously has a wealth of knowledge that he is willing to share with everyone. So make sure to tune in for that. Anyway, let's get to the fishing. It is December, it is winter. Temperatures are low, then they get a little bit higher, then they get a little bit lower at night, then they get a little bit higher in the morning, but they're low. So fishing's gonna start to be more wintry. You're gonna find fish in winter holding water. They're gonna be in the slower water. They're not gonna be moving to the fast water as much, and they're not gonna be eating as many big bugs. They'll still eat attractors here and there, but it's gonna be midge season, blueing olive season, and then throwing a good lead fly. So we're gonna talk bugs, flows, and weather. Let's start with bugs. With bugs, we're going to start off with some of the small stuff. And now typically, you can keep your bug choices pretty simple. Small midge, small blueing olives, and the like. I picked a couple of flies that are a little bit different than the norm, a little bit outside of what I usually would pick, but that doesn't mean that these aren't effective. These are flies that I like to fish. I just usually forget about it when it comes to the forecast. So number one, it's a demon midge from Matt McCannell. Red midge, tied on a red hook. Red midges catch fish in the winter. It's just a fact of life. And the demon midge is super productive. Blue is a great color to throw, so I grabbed a 2-bit midge from Charlie Craven. This is in blue. If you want to nerd out, look up UV light blue and like underwater stuff. Basically, fish can see blue more clearly underwater at depth, I think is what it comes down to. So it's a super visible fly for them when you're nymphing. So blue 2-bit midge is a good option. If you're fishing freestones or tailwaters, a pheasant tail is always going to work well. I grabbed a small 22 Quasimodo pheasant tail, so it's a little bit shorter. You don't have this sort of longer hook shank, so it's a small sort of mini version of a pheasant tail. It's not as elongated, and this is a good option. I like that fly. It's a nice little fly, super heavy, gets down in the pocket really well. For the most part, fish are going to be eating small bugs, but they will tune into some of the bigger options. It is wintertime. They are hungry. They don't necessarily want to move a ton, but they will move or will eat bigger flies. So grab the jig variety of Myers Mini Leech in olive. And then also, they do eat worms this time of year, especially on places where you see a little bit of a bump and flow, like the Dream Stream. It's up in the above 100. I grabbed a flossy worm. It's a little bit more of a technical worm. You're not going to fish it a big, meaty morsel this time of year, but you can still attract fish, especially on a little bit more of a technical pattern like that. So that's the flies, the bugs for the next 2 weeks. Flies like this will also catch fish. Certainly not. That's a primer, it's sort of a starting point, and don't have to be terribly complicated with your bug choices. So that's bugs. Let's talk flow. For this time of year, these are really good flows. Fish will be in a variety of habitat types, but for the most part, you're going to be focusing on slower water that is next to faster moving water, or tail outs where you have a lot of food coming down through faster current, and then once it starts to slow down, those fish are going to be sitting there, being a little bit more dormant, hanging out, and they'll be eating in those types of water types. So you can also find them in faster water when it warms up, but for the most part, they're going to be sitting down deep, waiting for food to come their way. So that's flows. Let's get to weather. All right, weather. Next couple weeks, it looks like it's going to be winter. Not terrible winter. It's not like the deep, dark, cavernous caves of, I don't know what that means, but it's not like really, really winter. It's not single digits and then maybe like 15 degrees in the day. It's going to be in the 40s. It's going to be in the 30s, lows in the, the teens, the 20s. So, free zones are still going to be fishable, especially on those higher temperature days when you get into the 40s. But you probably want a later start when you go to those free zones when it gets those these winter temps sort of arrive. So for the most part, tailwater is going to be super productive. We're not seeing any huge fronts coming through in the next 10 days. I say that now, and that could change obviously over the next week or two, but for the most part, we're seeing this pretty stable weather pattern holding up in the high country. So should be pretty good fishing. You're not getting any terrible cold spells. So yeah, it's a good time to be out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Get out there on the water. Hope to see you here in the shop up at the Frisco location. Want to welcome you to join us tomorrow night with Scotty D. So yeah, there we go. That's it. I don't know how to say goodbye. Goodbye.